The All Progressive Congress, which has been Nigeria's governing political party for the past 7 years, appears determined to push through with the National Convention, the build-up of which has been nothing short of chaotic and full of strife. To underscore that doggedness, the APC within the past week successfully conducted a primary election ahead of the forthcoming governorship poll in Ekiti State, southwest of Nigeria. However, the outcome of that primary election is at the moment being seriously called into question by party members who believe that the course of justice has not been served by the way and they have an issue with the manner in which it was held, and that the parties to patch up the existing differences at this point would only spell doom for it during the 2023 general election. Now, for more on this, hopefully to clear up what I've just said, and a discussion on food security in Nigeria, we are now joined by Shittu Mohammed, who is a farmer, but not only is he a farmer, he's also a former national chairman and currently a member of the All Progressives Congress. You're welcome to the morning show, Mr. Mohammed.
Good morning, Nigerian. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, let's start on food security. We were just talking to Dr. Adenle, who was talking to us about within the purview of Lagos State, for example, there are gaps in which he believes could be filled with innovation. When we speak about food security in Nigeria, surely with the rice pyramids that were unveiled recently in the Anchor Borrowers program from the central bank, there's definitely appetite and a desire to close any gaps in terms of food insecurity in this country, but it remains a pervasive issue. What are your thoughts on how best Nigeria can tackle its food insecurity issues?
Thank you. Food security is an important to the country because if we don't have food, then we are in trouble. So the step this government, this administration has took is quite welcoming. You will see that a country must start somewhere. We have started now. We have seen a rice pyramid, and very soon you will also see groundnut pyramid. You also see maize pyramid, and then you also see wheat pyramid. Because when you start like that, we move on, and then the next administration also take on from there. From there, we now start talking of processing. And as soon as we've been able to get processing right, first of all, we get the cultivation of this agricultural product in place. Second, we go into processing of the agricultural product, and then thirdly, you find out that we're now talking of exportation of this product. Therefore, for us, it's a welcoming development. We commend the administration, we commend the CBN for the anchor borrower, and we want to now advise that they should extend it to other commodity like wheat, which they have already extended it to. The maize, sorghum, and then we have the groundnut, and then we also have sunflower, because sunflower oil is also very, very good for us. At least it is cholesterol free. So these are areas, and you can export them. So these are areas that I will advise that we should extend the anchor borrower into.
All right. Thanks for talking to us about that. And it's obvious that, you know, with the intervention of the CBN, farmers are smiling now, obviously, and the gains that Nigeria has made in terms of, you know, reduction in importation of rice. It's a good testimony that at least the government is not only focusing on infrastructure, but also on food security. But tell me, you're a farmer yourself. How has this galvanized farmers all over the country back to the farms? A lot of farmers are still complaining about insecurity in various and different parts of the country. They say, yes, they have access to the Anchor Borrowers Fund, but then insecurity is another issue. Will this not jeopardize the beautiful program that the CBN is doing if farmers can't go to their farms in some sections of the country in the parts of Northeast, in some parts of the Northwest, even in some parts of your state, the issues, the issue of insecurity is still there. How do you think that the government of the day is tackling and should tackle this aspect?
For us, we believe that for a long time, this problem has been there, and then it just escalated at this particular moment. We have advised that in order for us to be able to get back to farm and allow everybody back to farm, first of all, we left our forest there shallow. No economic activities in this forest. And since 2006, I've advised government that we must clear this forest. In fact, if you look at the lifespan of those trees in those forests, they are no more even useful to the country. Not all, at least 70% are no more useful. What should we do as a country and as people is to now look at the advantage we can derive from this forest and look at what are the economic trees that we can, because if you clear this forest and you now make economic activities into those forests, and let me give you an example. If you look at Sambisa forest, which we have our first problem of this insurgency, you find out that is the belt that is very, very, very good for gum arabic. And then even if you look at the Lake Chad belt, that is where you have the best wheat in the world. Our wheat are better. I've gone into Europe, I've been in Austria, I've asked questions. In fact, when I was asking that I want to import wheat from Europe, I was told that the best wheat is in Nigeria, and that is in that Lake Chad region. We must now take decisive action, clear this forest, allocate it. Although you'll be talking of encroachment of Sahara or something. No, there is way you will do it in a manner that if where you want trees to be, plant economic tree. Look at somewhere like Ore Forest. At Ore Forest, these are areas that you can put off cocoa and coffee, and we can export these goods. There are also trees, and but there will be economic activity in those areas. Look at where you are talking now in Zamfara. These are best area where you can get tomato around Talata Mafara and all this area. We must clear those forests and make it habitable and make it economic viable. Because if there's economic activities, it will employ Nigerians. Not for us to only go into cultivate, and that's why we're advising the CBN. Yes, they've encouraged cultivation of this product. Half of this product, if it is not processed within the area with which it is cultivated, it could go rotten. Therefore, what do? Let government, through the intervention of the Ministry of Agriculture, also now start bringing up processing plant into these areas. Because when farmers get to the farm and they cultivate, and I'll give you an example, somewhere like Talata Mafara, where you have a lot of tomato, or Haleru, where you have a lot of onion. If you take onion processing plant into Haleru, you find out that the people will be encouraged to even go into farming more, because they now know that there's a processing plant that will buy it off them. And I think I was discussing last few weeks with CBN, where they are saying that they are bringing up commodity exchange into each local government. These are measures that we need to take, where the commodity exchange can now buy it off them and then be able to take it to processing plant. And if you are processing, people will be encouraged to go into farm. These criminals that are recruiting the young ones will not be able to recruit them, because these young ones will now be engaged by the processing centers. And so these are measures we think we should take as quickly as possible. Instead of us to be wasting money in buying weapons, it is easier for us to buy this processing plant and put up a measure. Probably, let's assume in an area where you want to do gum arabic, you look at the villages around there, pond them and put a gum Arabic processing plant in that area and make a committee, the youth committee, the emirs, put up a committee that will manage that processing plant. We must start changing our policies to reflect our belief and our culture. We must look at how all this will be. These are measures that we must as quickly as possible take to be able to eliminate the issue of insurgency, the issue of kidnapping and other things. Because it is these boys have no job. And when they don't have job, what do you do resort to? You find out that 30% of our Nigerian youth don't have job. You churn out NYSC. And that is why we said also establish farms in each state, maybe through NALDA. And then through this NALDA, when you establish these farms, then instead of posting NYSCs into offices, post them there for 1 year, make the place habitable, put housing there. We must be able to quickly draw the mind of the Nigerian youth into, because that is what we have as a country. As a country, when we have lost out of the Industrial Revolution, now, when we are calling 2 years ago, I say, as COVID has come, it's better for us to now look at our agricultural sector and take the world to Nigeria, not for the Nigerian to go to the world and import. And you could see why we are saying that agriculture is what we can take advantage of, but we cannot take advantage of agriculture if we are not processing. And then we must spend the time to even ban exportation of these raw materials until it is processed in Nigeria. How will you get coffee and cocoa in Oref or your Ogun State, and then you now have to import chocolate? How do we now take our gum Arabic out and we now go and import it again? We must take a deliberate policy. The government must take a deliberate policy from today to say, look, exportation of raw material should be banned. If you want our cocoa, if you want our gum Arabic, if you want bring your processing plant to Nigeria. Encourage, even in the area, how do I stay? And I'll be importing milk when we have enough cows, we have enough in Nigeria. These are areas that processing plant is what we should look next. And then if we are processing these goods, Nigeria will be better for it. We earn our dollars. We create employment opportunity because it has long value chain, very long value chain. Look, just few days ago, we have a lot of calls from the Europe wanting our beans because they are short of beans now. Now, for us in Nigeria, we have the beans, but we have not been able to encourage farmers and to even process it in a manner that it will meet up the standard of the European standard. These are what we must, as quickly as people do.
Yes, I'm going to have to come in very quickly here. You talk about the wider agricultural value chain, which of course is a very important area. We cannot turn a blind eye to that. But we also have to talk about some of the existing sentiments within. As a farmer, it would be interesting to get your views on. Some farmers are very used to their traditional ways of, going about their business, and the introduction of, let's say, new technological trends. However, innovative it could be, and how much value addition it could possibly bring to the platform, they might not be very ready for those changes. What are your sentiments on that? And do you think there are ways in which farmers can possibly also become more aligned with revolutionizing the entire chain?
Change is inevitable in every aspect of human life. Therefore, in we like to take hoe and cutlass and go to farm today. That is why, so whoever tell you that traditionally our people don't want to change, nobody that will see a tractor coming to his farm and then clearing his farm for him, that will not be happy. Nobody will see that if he just produce his product, as I was discussing with the CBN governor, when he said that they are putting up this agricultural commodity exchange board, where people will be in each local government If you cultivate your product, you take it to the place to them, and they buy it off you. That will also encourage the farmers. So the sentiment of that they don't want to change from the traditional way of agriculture is not there. What they need is encouragement, is for them, not for you to just announce it in the newspaper or no, take it to their door. Let them see it. Let them see. The world has even gone above using tractors. The world are now using drone to even cultivate, to even look at what, to even look. So a lot of things have started being doing with drone. We have not have that history in Nigeria. So if you bring drone to Nigeria today, for them to help them in a lot of activities in the farm, it will help them. We have to go ahead. We must move forward. We must be able to take the comparative advantage of what gives us to bring the world to Nigeria, and that is agriculture. And that is why we are saying farmers are ready to change. If those equipment will be given to them and they will be trained to use those equipment. And in order for them, for us to start that is why we said establish farm settlement, or we call it either farmhouse or farm settlement in each state, where you post this NYSC to. Because as they are there, they will learn a lot about agriculture, not only cultivating, but they will learn processing, they will learn packaging, they will learn how to even. So some of them will come out, become a merchant, either in selling, either in packaging, either in processing, not only in cultivating. That way, it will spread to our various state and various local government after their NYSC. And this will help us. What we need in the rural area that will encourage people is for us to also look at our electricity. And then we must, because it is electricity that is the bane of whatever other processing or whatever you want to do, you need electricity. Luckily, electricity you have the solar, you can do it through solar, through hydro, through turbine, many ways now. What we need is to de-emphasize the issue of national grid. Yes, national grid could be there, but allow people also, you can give license to people to now start from each local government, either state, either even a community you want, give them license, let them generate, let them be able to distribute, and then so that the people can now be able to now, it will catalyze our economic and agricultural activities. These are why we have not gone far, because there's no electricity in our rural area. So therefore, allow people, disemphasize the issue of national grid, give licenses to people, let them generate, let them be able to transmit, let them within the area that they could cover, and then take revenue, maybe tax them, so that they pay to the federal government post. But allow people now. It's time to give people licenses for even small community, so that they can generate through any means that they know they will generate and pay to the government.
Understood. Well,
So
Mr.
this will
Mohammed, I'd
encourage
like
our farmers.
Thank you. Well, I'd like our conversation to take a bit of a political turn. In our introduction, we did talk about the recently concluded primary election that took place in Ekiti just this week, within a week ago. And of course, some party members believe that the outcome of that election was not just. They weren't happy with the way in which it was conducted. Can you give us your thoughts on that process and what the official position of the APC is on that matter at this point?
I don't have any official position, but what I want you to know is that politics is about number. If you have the number and you are able to win any election, definitely, that's why they say the majority will have a say, and the minority will majority have its way and minority have a say. So they will say whatever they feel, but the majority take the day.
Okay, but lead us into what to expect for party members and the public towards February 26th and 27th. when hopefully the national convention will happen. Do you have names and, are you figuring who Governor Buni would likely hand over the reins of the party to? And what do you think that that will pan out towards August when the party primaries will eventually happen?
First of all, I want to commend Governor Buni for the manner. Although he's a party man, he has been secretary, he's a party man, so he has done well. And then for me, I'll canvass, because I'm a young man, I'll canvass for young people to be involved in our political system, especially now that we are going into convention. A lot of young people should come out and then encourage our young people and stand by our young people to take over this political party, because they have the energy, they have the what to do, they know they are innovative, and the young people among the aspirants who should be encouraged. This is what I want. I'm a young man, and not because I'm a young man, it is just time that Nigerians start looking at the young, innovative candidate or aspirant to be able to support and make them leaders. Because if you say they are leaders of today, tomorrow, when would they be leader? This is time that young ones should be encouraged. So I would prefer Governor Bunu to hand over to a younger person among the candidates.
Understood.
All right, thank you so very much for joining us this morning to have this very pertinent discussion. Wish you a good day.